Good evening, students, and welcome to Reddy's coaching classes. Okay, today we are going to study geography, 10th standard in SSC, chapter number 3, physiography and drainage. Now, in this Okay, students, now we are going to study today chapter number 3, that is nothing but the physiography and drainage. This is the lecture number 1 of this chapter. Okay, now physiography and drainage. In this chapter, only two countries are compared. In the whole book, in the whole geography book of the 10th standard, only they gave emphasis with government as well as teachers, academicians, they give emphasis only on the two countries in the world. First one is India. First one is India and second one is Brazil. Second one is Brazil. But first we will start with the physiography and drainage system of India. And we will focus on your India. Okay. Now this is nothing but the physiography and drainage system or drainage only. Now physiography, physiography is nothing but the topography and all the landforms available as well as the regions in and around India, these various countries and all these things that we studied also in the last chapter a little bit. Now drainage system is what? Drainage system is nothing but the river system. It is happening all over India. Rivers are covering all parts of India. That is known as drainage system. How they are collecting means what is the origin of those rivers and how they are flowing or meeting the sea. How they confuse formation of confuse and several other things we will learn in this chapter. Now we will focus on your India today. Okay. Now you can see, go to your page number 14. Now obviously strictly you have to learn from your textbook. If you don't have textbook, you will fail. You will face lot of problem. Not fail, but you will face lot of problem because mostly maps are there. Now you can see here I have maps over here, but everybody doesn't have maps in their home. So obviously you can do it in your map here also, or in your textbooks also, PDF file, whatever you have. Now observe the map given in figure 3.1 and answer the following question. Here the map is already given and in your books also map is given, but in the book map is totally different and what you are represented here is totally different. So you can go into the book, look into your books, look into your PDF file first and afterwards give me the answer. I know you cannot give me the answers because this is not a live session. So observe the map given in 3.1 and answer the following question. In which direction does the region with an altitude of more than 6,000 meters lie in India? You can see already the index is given, altitude scale is given, altitude scale is differentiated. Now you can see very clearly 6,000 meter line, nothing but the North India, and that North India is nothing but the Himachal Pradesh, or you may call it Jammu and Kashmir also. Jammu and Kashmir as well as Himachal Pradesh, or you may call Uttarakhand. This is the North region. This North region comprises 6,000 meter above altitude. You can see most of the what you call it big mountains. Even the Everest mountain is located near this. Okay, even though it is a part of China, yes, you can easily reach from Uttarakhand. It is not far away. So obviously you have to cross very far. So Jammu and Kashmir as well as Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. This is the north part of India. East, west, north, south. So obviously north part of India where there are the mountains, or this is the region which lies above 6,000 meter. Above 6,000 meter. That is the answer of first question. Go into your books, go to the page number 14 and first question. In which direction does the region with an altitude of more than 6,000 meter lie in India? That is nothing but the north direction. That is nothing but the north direction. Okay. Now look for the south flowing rivers in the peninsular region. In which river basin does it lie? Okay, so I can show you here. Look for the south flowing river in the peninsular region. Peninsular region is nothing but this region covering the South India, some part of South India, and little bit part of North India and central part of India. I can show you here also. Look into this map. The peninsular region. Don't get confused. Peninsular region. This region is comprising southern part of India as well as some northern part of India and central part of India, not the total northern part of India, but little bit of northern part of India and central part of India. That part is known as peninsular region, and you know it. You studied in 9th standard as well as in 8th standard. It is the oldest landmass in the world when the world was formed. So now look for the south flowing river in the peninsular region. In which the river basin does it lie? You can clearly see Kaveri. You can clearly see here Kaveri. This is also peninsular region, and which river it lies? Kaveri river. Okay. Now third question: in which direction the scope of the region is not shown in the dark green? Now not shown in the dark green. You can see here. Now question is: in which direction is the slope of the region in which not shown in the dark green? Now they haven't shown which region. Okay, what is the shape of that region? Okay, you can see here. Obviously, you can observe it. But in which direction? East and north. East and north. Because this region is sloping towards east and north. Obviously, it starts from north. So obviously, answer is north. And it's going towards east. That's why east and north. Again, I will repeat the question for your sake. In which direction? Okay, student, again I am repeating the same question. In which direction is the slope of the region in the north shown in dark green? You can see the region shown in dark green here, and it is in east-west direction. Direction is nothing but the east-west. Why? It is facing east. East, and this is nothing but the west. So it is showing east-west direction. Now next question, look into your book. Make a list of plateaus located in between Aravalli Ranges and Chota Nagpur Plateau. You can see Aravalli Ranges are lying here and Chota Nagpur Plateau is lying here. Or again, I will show you in this book also. Now Aravalli Range you can see here, page number 14, and near to the Rajasthan and Gujarat, between Rajasthan and Gujarat, Aravalli Range is there, and Chota Nagpur Plateau is here. So in between, how many plateaus are located? You can see Mewar Plateau, Marwar Plateau, as well as Malwa Plateau. Malwa, Mewar, and Marwar. Marwar Plateau is in Rajasthan. Mewar Plateau is between Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, and bordering the Rajasthan. And Malwa Plateau, it is in Mewar Plateau in Rajasthan, and Malwa Plateau is in Madhya Pradesh. So this is the way you can answer. Make a list of plateaus located in between Aravalli Ranges and Chota Nagpur Plateau. That is nothing but the Mewar Plateau, Malwa Plateau, and Marwar Plateau. Now name the peak shown in the Eastern Ghat. Mahendragiri. Which one? Mahendragiri. Actually, Mahendragiri lies here, but I will show you in this map. Name the peak shown. You can see here Mahendragiri here. Mahendragiri. That is nothing but the Mahendragiri, the peak shown in the Eastern Ghat. This is nothing but the Eastern Ghat. This is nothing but the Western Ghat. This is nothing but the Eastern Ghat. This is nothing but the Western Ghat. Okay. Now, which mountain demarcated deep plains of Brahmaputra? Actually, the question is around which region or which states demarcate the deep plains of Brahmaputra. And everybody know this is the Brahmaputra region. Brahmaputra region flows through what we call the West Bengal, and it also goes through Bangladesh, and then it gets to the Bay of Bengal through Sundarban. So, how many, which are the various now? You can see here, nothing is here. This river flows through Arunachal Pradesh, then Assam, then little bit of Meghalaya, Bangladesh, as well as West Bengal. Then West Bengal and goes to the Sundarban. River, which Brahmaputra river? Actually, it comes from China. And in China, it is known as Yangtze River. It is known as Yangtze. And in India, it is called Brahmaputra. It flows to Arunachal Pradesh, then Assam, then Meghalaya, then Bangladesh, as well as West Bengal. But Bangladesh is not our part. So obviously we talk about India only. So Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, West Bengal, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Sikkim, these states, this river covers. Actually, question is wrong. Again, I will repeat this question. Which mountain, not which mountain, but which states demarcated the plains of Brahmaputra? These are nothing but the Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, West Bengal, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Assam. Okay, give the relative location of Nilgiri Hills. No, Nilgiri Hills, where they are located. Okay, Nilgiri Hills you can see here. Okay, Nilgiri Hills you can see here, or in your book, Nilgiri Hills are located here. Okay, Nilgiri Hills are located here. So, around 90 kilometer in north-south direction and 80 kilometer from east to west direction. This is the location of Nilgiri Hills. In which direction is the height of the Sahyadri hill increases? Sahyadri, I already told you. Sahyadri is the part and parcel of Western Ghat. It's the offshoot of Western Ghat, or it is the part of Western Ghat. So, obviously, Sahyadri is mostly covering the state of Maharashtra, this is Sahyadri region. But when they go to the south, near to Karnataka and all that, obviously they increase, their height increases when they reach towards the south. Now, the Vindhyas act as a water divide between the which two river basins? You can see here Vindhya range. You can see here page number 4. Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala also, and Tamil Nadu also. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. These states, the Western Ghat. Western Ghat are totally coming, and Sahyadri range is Deccan Plateau is also coming this part of the southern states. Now, which hill ranges lie to the west of the Deccan Plateau? Now, and I have to show you in the book. You can see here. Now, this is the Deccan Plateau. This is nothing but the Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau's west side. West side means towards the sea. Which range? Sahyadri range. Which range? Not mountain. They haven't asked about mountain. They asked about the range. Which range? Sahyadri range. That should be your answer. Okay. Now, so okay. In which direction does the height of the Sahyadri hill increase that we have done? I think. Okay. The Vindhyas act actually towards the south. Now the Vindhyas act as the water divide between the which two river basin? Actually, it is the Narmada and Tapi river. Vindhyas, you can see here, Vindhyas range and Narmada and Tapi. Narmada as well as Tapi, it divides Vindhya range, dividing Narmada and Tapi river separately. Now, okay, this is about India. In India, we have 5 geographic regions. First one is Himalaya, the foremost, the most important. Second one, North Indian plains. Third one, the peninsula, coastal plains, and the island. Now, here they haven't given the full explanation regarding what we call that coastal plain. North Indian plains. Now, the peninsula also, the coastal plain. Go to page number 17. Fourth point, the coastal plain. We have 7,500 kilometer coastal area. India is having 7,500 kilometer coastal area. You can see here. First one, Arabian Sea. Second one, Bay of Bengal, and some part of Indian Ocean. Not some, it will be part of Indian Ocean. So you can see the coastal area starts from Gujarat. It starts from Gujarat and it ends in West Bengal. It ends in West Bengal. So you can see a huge coastline. India has a huge coastline, around 7,500 kilometer coastal region or coastal water or sea water, whatever you call it. So, okay, now the India is blessed with all India daily now. Long coastline extending for approximately 7,500 kilometers. It lies to the western and eastern part. Western and eastern part of the peninsula. It is western and eastern coastline. So, remark here, even though this whole region is coastal region, or it is known as coastal region, here eastern coastal region have different geographic feature. Western coastal region have different geography. These are nothing but the deep similarity between western coast and eastern coast. Now the western coast borders the Arabian Sea. Everybody knows Arabian Sea. It is by and large a rocky coast. Rocky coast is mostly formed by the rock, and it is consists of rocks. That's why it is known as rocky coast. Now at places first they took up on the Western Ghats have extended up right to the coast. Sure. Now some spurs is nothing but the edges or some part of the Western Ghats. There is some mountain ranges of the Western Ghats. They what you call they goes near to the they went near to the what you call that Arabian Sea. Or you may call it Western Coastal Region. These are nothing but the scope. Then you have this coastal region, you have the beach, and in front of that you have a mountain. These are nothing but the spurs. And these mountains are not suddenly appeared over there. They are the part and parcel of the Western Ghats, or you may call in simple word Sahyadri Range. Okay? Its width is also less. Its width is also less. Now rivers originating from Western Ghats are short and simple. Obviously, whatever rivers are originating from Western Ghats and meeting the Arabian Sea, they are very short and they are very swift, flowing swiftly. Their current is very swift. Hence, they form estuaries of the river. Now, what do you mean by estuary? Actually, best example is Thane Creek. Thane Creek is not Ullas River meeting the Bhayandar Creek or Arabian Sea. We are calling it Arnala Creek, Arnala Sea, Bhayandar Creek. Here, it is a part and parcel of the Arabian Sea. So, where Ullas River, which originates in Lonavala, which originates in Western Ghats, when it meets what you call that Arabian Sea, then whatever landform is formed, that is known as estuary. Okay. Now, estuary is nothing but an area where the fresh river water meets the sea, or stream meets the sea. And second best example, Thane Creek. Thane Creek is such a long creek that it divides the Mumbai from mainland Maharashtra. Thane Creek is the best example of estuary because it divides the whole Mumbai from mainland Maharashtra. So estuary is not a very simple thing. We ignore it, but it is most important. Now the eastern coast borders the Bay of Bengal. You can see here Bay of Bengal. Very easily you can observe here Bay of Bengal. Now it is formed as a result of deposition of Gulf River. Deposition of Gulf River, there will be confusion of rivers only two. Which one? First one is prime coast is Brahmaputra. Second one, Ganga. Okay. Now many these flowing rivers using from the western and eastern Ghats meet this coast, and not only these, but there is other rivers also meet here from western Ghats. Now, because of the gentle slope of the land, rivers flow at lower velocity and deposit the sedimentary rock with them at the coast. As a result, they travel from. Now, Brahmaputra River, Ganga River, and several rivers from eastern coast, or you may call eastern Ghats. Instead of calling eastern coast, eastern Ghats, they are meeting at the Bay of Bengal. All the rivers coming to the Bay of Bengal. And their slope is their current is also slow. Okay, and the slope is not steep, slope is gentle, so obviously they are flowing at low velocity with low speed, and they are bringing all what you call that sediments with them, and they are depositing at the mouth here at West Bengal, and that's why delta region is formed in West Bengal, and in Bangladesh also that is known as Sundarban, larger delta region. It is not formed by the sea, but it is mostly formed by the deposition. It is mostly the work of deposition of sediments by river Brahmaputra, river Ganga, and several rivers flowing towards that area from eastern Ghats as well as from western Ghats. So obviously they are bringing lots of sediments with it, and they are flowing very slowly because slope is gentle. So obviously the deltaic region is formed, and this is the largest deltaic region that is nothing but the Sundarban. So okay, now eastern coast border of the Bay of Bengal is formed as a result of deposition of rivers. Many east-flowing rivers using from the western and eastern Ghats this coast already I have told you. Now because of the gentle slope of the land, rivers flow at the lower velocity and deposit the sediments with them at the coast. You can see here. Not this one, this one.
as a result data are found on this code. Data are found on this code. That is the people technology that is covered Sundarban in West Bengal. So thank you students. Okay. Thank you very much.